off of this big Florida A&M game. How do you feel like your side of the ball's been coming along defensively?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely played well. You know, it's a lot harder than it seems. The whole team just 3 points. But you know, our whole defense is coming together. You know, the linebackers, the D-line, the secondary are all kind of on the same page. You know, we're understanding the defense a lot better, and yeah, these past 2 games have definitely given us a lot more confidence. And I mean, hopefully it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone coming up that we keep doing the same thing. So yeah, it feels good.
Coach was saying last week he was still waiting for you guys to play that so-called complete game where he felt like every phase was clicking at the right time. After looking at how you guys managed to handle business last Saturday, you felt like that was maybe the point of where you guys were starting to click and maybe things are starting to move the direction you guys want to see it going?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we've had some games where, you know, I'm sure you guys have seen the offense has played well, and maybe we didn't play so well, or special teams didn't play so well. But when you have a game like that, it kind of is a good thing to build off of, and just kind of gives everyone confidence and gets the team kind of going a little bit. And I think, you know, we talked about it last year, Eastern Kentucky, we kind of had a similar game where everything was kind of clicking. And we were kind of carry that momentum, so hopefully we're able to do the same thing with that. So.
Elon throws the ball a lot. It's kind of the first pass-heavy team you guys have faced. Give me your assessment of what you see on film, and is it tough facing a team like that for the first time when you've been facing these run-heavy teams the whole season?
Yeah, well, they're actually very similar to our offense. So we haven't really seen our offense too much recently, but in camp, that's all we really saw. So I know the secondary is kind of looking forward to getting a little more action. But I think we'll be ready. Like I said, we've seen a lot with our offense. They do still run the ball a little bit, so we got to take care of that. But I think we'll be pretty good when it comes to pass.
What do you remember from last year? What do you take away from last year's matchup against them?
I mean, they definitely have some good athletes. Their quarterback can throw the ball. They have a couple of good running backs. Our defense is a little different from last year, so I mean, we got to take a little bit different approach with that. But they definitely have some good players, and they're pretty fundamentally sound.
Talk about the one thing that you guys have focused in on as a defense when you're starting the game plan for this game on Saturday. What's the one thing you guys have looked at on film or the coaches have expressed to you that, hey, this is what we need to do to be successful?
We've really kind of, we kind of believe that, you know, everything starts up front with stopping the run. So we've kind of tried to work on our fits a little bit. Even though they pass a lot, if we can take care of that, we feel like our pass defense is pretty good. It was kind of tough yesterday practicing inside, but I mean, I think we really just kind of want to get our fits all you know, squared away, and then kind of work from there.
Each week, do you guys look for the rankings? Do you get excited to check them and see where you're going to check in at each week?
I mean, yeah, everybody sees it. I mean, it's definitely good to see us number 3, but in some polls. But I mean, it really doesn't matter to us, and you can kind of tell what's going to happen with the rankings before it even happens. So, I mean, as long as we keep winning and win pretty good, I mean, they can put us wherever they want. Really, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's kind of where you finish up. So, but I mean, it's definitely nice.
I think in terms of Elon, they didn't have a good season a year ago record-wise, but they had, as Richie pointed out, they've got good talent. You remember our game with them was actually pretty close at halftime. Anything could have happened. I don't know, they may have even been ahead at halftime or whatever it was very, very close. We had a great second half. They brought in a new staff. With a new staff normally comes enthusiasm, especially when the program's really been down. So you look at, they run an offense that is similar to ours. They run a defense, frankly, a little bit similar to ours. They do a nice job defensively of being really fundamentally sound, mixing a lot of things up. They'll come with pressure from one side, show it from the other side, come with pressure up the middle when they're showing it outside, show you man, they're going to play zone when they want to play man. So they'll do a good job of mixing that up for us. They are fundamentally sound across the board, including their kicking game. And if you take a look at what they've been able to do, you know, their opening day, everybody's excited, but still your opening day, first day in the program, you're always going to be a little bit rusty, but they held their own. They didn't embarrass themselves against Duke. The A&T game could have gone either way. They lost by 5 points. You know, with our game, we won by 1, but that game could have gone either way. And then I wouldn't underestimate the victory over Charlotte. Charlotte had a decent season a year ago, and while it's only second year of football, that means they have 100% of their team back. They're up to 75 scholarships, and they are an FBS team, and they were undefeated. And while they may not have been playing as great a schedule early on, they were handling those teams. So for Elon to beat Charlotte, that's a great victory for them. That's a great victory for them. A lot of their staff knows our guys. These are guys that have spent a lot of time talking football over the years, and I think at times working together. So there's no question in my mind, Elon's coming in here, you know, excited, enthusiastic, and I'm sure quite confident that this is going to be a real game. There's no question in our mind it's going to be a real game, and we're prepared accordingly.
Last year you had a record-setting offensive day against them. How much is that in the back of the mind this week?
Not much in the back of anybody's mind. I think everybody knows it's a different staff. It's a different team. They run things differently than they did a year ago. I think you're aware of that. You're aware of that more when there were not many changes. Same staff, same team, same everything. But when you bring in a whole new staff and they change an offense, defense, special teams, I don't think, frankly, it shouldn't be in our mind as much. If we're the same staff, we'd be so focused on last year's game. What is it we did poorly? What is it we did right? You know that they're going to try to fix those things as well. So you get a lot of insight. Much less insight going back when you have a new staff. We'd still look at the game, but not the way we would. So I think because of that, you don't think about it as much.
Yeah, their defense has been much improved this year so far. What's the biggest difference you see in the way they're playing on that side of the ball?
I think they're fundamentally really strong. I think they're fundamentally strong. I think they tackle well. Richie talked about how important it is to have good run fits. They understand their run fits. They seldom have wrong guys in wrong gaps. They seldom make mistakes with there. They'll do a good job of the wide receivers coming and kind of crack. They'll do a good job of crack replace with the other, let's say the safety with the cornerback. So they do a good job with that. They really want to do a good job with that. So I think they're fundamentally, from a defensive perspective, sounder and more efficient than what they were a year ago.
Coach, this game clearly is on regional television on CW21. Talk about playing on television and what it means for this program to have that exposure in this region of where you want to kind of build a fence around to, you know, further establish this program in this region.
I'm not trying to build a fence around, maybe me something else, Brandon. I'm not trying to build a fence around anything per se, but I think the bottom line is I think anytime our university gets exposure, you know, regionally or nationally, I think that's always just a plus. I think we're very proud of what we do here in football. I think we're proud of what the university's doing in general. So we're proud for that to get exhibited and what I'm getting to the PR that's associated with regional and national media. So all those things are good. The impact it's got on us is like, again, like Richie was saying, we want to have a full stadium. That's terrific. It's great to be able to play on TV. That's terrific. But that's it. It doesn't impact what we do. It doesn't impact how we think. It's a good thing for our university. It makes us feel good, but it's got no impact in terms of the way we run things or approach things.
What about from a recruiting standpoint, being able to have these kids maybe don't know anything about Coastal and they're flipping the channel, they say, hey, what's this Coastal Carolina?
No, I think anytime you go back, that's one of the advantages to having regional coverage or a national coverage. So certainly from that perspective, it's good, but what's going to matter more is how we play on TV, not the fact that we're on TV. So I think, again, one of the advantages to national exposure or regional exposure is, I think it has a positive impact on recruiting. Bottom line is you still got to get the job done.
What is it about Elon that, when you look at these guys, it really steps out to you, that one aspect that
The improvement over last year. The improvement over last year. You know, we thought they were a talented team last year, but they kind of made too many basic mistakes, and a lot of teams were able to take advantage of that. and there were games that maybe they should have won last year, but they didn't because of those types of breakdowns. This year, they don't seem to be doing that, and they're getting off to, I think, what is at least football-wise a real good sound start. So while we played them a year ago, this is a much improved team over a